Mama's Kitchen on Dubai Eye 103.8.
From eating out, we're moving on to nutrition now. And we all know that TikTok loves a wellness trend, but the latest to dominate the social media feeds is vitamin patches. They seem to be popping up everywhere at the moment. I've seen them in all different colours, all different shapes. People are looking at them like they're sort of stick-on tattoos like we used to use as kids. I've seen so many people walking around with little stars and hearts on their arms. And of course, these things claim to deliver nutrients straight through the skin and mean that we don't need pills or gummies. So for a lot of people, they're convenient. But there are skeptics who question whether they actually work. So I wanted to explore the science behind this trend, and I'm joined by Dr. Fiji Antony. She's the head of dietetics and chief clinical dietitian at NMC Specialty Hospital in Nahda in Dubai. Dr. Fiji, thank you so much for coming in. I'm really intrigued by this topic. I guess, first of all, broad picture-wise, these are being touted as being a really convenient alternative to pills, but are they? From a medical perspective, do you rate them?
It's too early to say that it is a replacement for oral supplements because there is very little research based on that one. But those patients who are not able to tolerate through gastrointestinal issues, yes, the vitamin D patches or fat-soluble A, D, E, K vitamins play some role, but not completely, not sufficiently.
So you say there about some very specific vitamins. So does that mean there are vitamins that would be better through patches than others? Are there some where a patch just simply wouldn't work?
Fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, K, are at par permeable through the skin because they are fat-soluble. Whereas the water-soluble vitamins and folates, they may not. And vitamin B12, they may not. So the main distinction is because skin is a barrier, so it may not absorb all the nutrients we are talking about. And it's too early to comparatively we say that they are getting absorbed because very little researches have been done on that one.
See, I'm always quite sceptical of TikTok trends generally when it comes to the health space. But then we've got patches in medicine. You know, things like HRT are routinely delivered through the skin. So we do know that there are things that work in terms of that. How does nutrient absorption through the skin work? You know, when it comes to a patch, what's the actual mechanism of these?
Well, the gastrointestinal absorption is done when you are taking the pills because it goes to the stomach. But if it is a dermal patch, the transdermal patches, it goes directly to the bloodstream and it is gradually released. So there is advantage, but the extensive usage and the dosage, are they going to sufficient the deficiency, especially if it is a vitamin B12 anemia deficiency and this vitamin B12 patches are going to correct the deficiency? No, the researchers have not been clearly stating about that. So it is the bloodstream versus gut is the main difference between the patches and the pills.
And when it comes to even just the pills as well, I would imagine that not all are created equal. I mean, I know that there have been melatonins that I've taken that I've thought, oh, that's really efficient, and others that I've thought, that's not done much at all. How can people tell the difference between good vitamins and bad, whether it's a pill, whether it's a patch, you know, because it feels like it's a huge market and maybe a lot of us are lacking information on how to navigate it.
Well, supplement itself is not a medicine, so it's available over the counter, so people do go for that, there is no doubt about it. But the basic thing is that why you are not taking the food instead of that one. So if you are sufficiently taking enough of fruits and vegetables and your diet is balanced, then you may not need any of the supplements as well. So first we have to address what is your eating habits and why you are not taking enough of food items and why you are depending upon the supplements instead.
And so on that note, should we be getting everything that we need from our diets? Or are there things that the modern diet just means it's pretty impossible to get them through diet alone, that probably most people will need a supplement?
Only if you have a gastrointestinal issues, Only if you have a malabsorption problem, you have undergone bariatric surgery, so there is a malabsorption over there. Only then there is a supplemental requirement. Also, if you are deficient, your blood test. So what is the evidence? You need to prove that you are deficient, and that is done only through the blood test. And the doctors should tell you that you need to come to the conclusion that your nutritional deficiency needs to get corrected. When it needs to be corrected, yes, we need supplements. Otherwise, a standard normal person doesn't need supplements to support their vitamins. You will get it from the balanced nutrition.
See, I love hearing that because I don't take vitamins. I don't take anything, really. I eat my food and I just hope that I'm fairly healthy. And I was amazed recently when it came to sort of packing for holidays, the number of my friends that are packing kind of those pill boxes. And there was a conversation on one of my friendship groups where people were looking for bigger pill boxes because they take so many vitamins every day that they couldn't fit them and they wanted to take them all on holiday with them. And I wonder, are those people doing much more good for themselves than I am by doing nothing? Or is there a sort of happy medium? Because it feels to me like if you're having to take 20 pills a day and you're a healthy person, that feels like overkill.
I will agree with you. Less supplements, less chemicals, less foreign body to your body is better, of course, always, than pumping you with lots of cocktails of vitamins and minerals. If it is not required for your body, it's a load to your body.
And so as a dietitian then, what are the most common mistakes that people are making with their diets that mean that they might need supplementation? What are we not eating enough of?
Well, that's a very good question. I was looking forward to answer this. I love to answer this question because it's a trend of wrong diets, crash diets, fastings and all. And we do see a lot of patients coming to our OPD with respect to the diet, not only for the weight reduction, the therapeutic, diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, heart problems, name it. End of the day, when we talk to the patients, the main problem is that they don't eat well. Yeah. So what does it mean by this eat well? They don't eat the normal, regular food habits. They don't eat the natural ingredients. Instead, they may go for the protein shakes, ready-to-eat food, and instant meals, instant shakes, instant drinks, which may lack all the nutrients, which may be only surfacing their tummy, like, satiety. So satiety itself is not complete. You need to give the nutrients, and the nutrients comes in all the varied macro and micronutrients, which we need to give to the body. Then only the body will function normally. So for a normal function, to avoid the disease conditions in future, and that's a preventable preventable measures you have to take. And for that, you have to eat well with all the nutrients and which is required for the body, whether it is vegan, non-vegan. You need to supplement all the macro, micronutrients which is required for your body.
It's interesting you touch on veganism there, and I often wonder when people are vegan, vegetarian, if people have particular allergies and have to avoid things. I mentioned earlier when I was talking to Chef, my husband's celiac, so he has to eat particular gluten-free foods, and quite often his gluten-free replacements for things are a lot more processed than the varieties that I would be using. So how do you balance that kind of picture of having specific nutritional needs with still making sure that you're getting a good balance and you're not resorting to replacements?
Yes. Well, it comes to the personalized, individualized diet. So your diet and my diet is different. The same way your husband's diet and your diet is different. So that doesn't mean that you have to be way beyond what is your choice and budget what you're planning for your day. But you have to incorporate all the nutrients. As I said, yes, you may opt for the gluten-free products as a carbohydrate option, but there are a lot of other nutrients which you can add from the vegetables and the fruits, and that's how you are going to get balance. And that's the job of the dietitian.
And we hear a lot these days about people having potentially health issues, too many hormones in food, too much processed food. You go to the supermarket and there's so much choice. What questions should we always be asking ourselves when we're grocery shopping? Is there sort of hard and fast rules that we can go, okay, if we ask this and we know the answer to whether it's healthy or not?
The first and foremost is that how much you can go natural. Now, from the natural ingredients, how much food you can cook at home. Not always we are possible to do that one. The more you do, the better you are, because it's from the natural ingredients you are going to cook the food. But the minimum preservatives, the minimum packed food, minimum preserved food canned food, that's always better for you. And minimize the usage of sauces and packed food, ready to eat, or the tastemakers, or the additives and the chemicals, the food colors. Those food items, we have to keep it away. There is no doubt about it. And your grocery shopping should always have the fruits and vegetables, a major ingredient.
I'm always curious about things like canned fruit and vegetables or frozen fruit and vegetables. You know, there's certain fruits and vegetables from our home countries that maybe are easier to come by frozen than fresh. Are those considered processed, or are those still healthy?
Frozen vegetables, frozen fruits are healthy as fresh products. So don't worry about that. The term preserved comes when it is added with preservatives, chemicals. That's not good. So preserved food is different, frozen food is different. Frozen food without preservatives is safe and healthy and fresh and good and nutritional.
So try and get as many of those good foods as you can into your diet. But if you are feeling like you're lacking then, or that you maybe need a bit of a boost,
yes,
should people automatically go to their GP before trying patches, tablets, any sort of supplementation?
No doubt. They have to meet their general practitioner or a family medicine or a physician, who or they usually go to the hospital or the clinic. They should first address their health concerns with the clinician, not to treat by themselves, even if it is a vitamin deficiency, even if they are feeling tired, because there used to be a lot of other diagnoses which comes across with that one. So do not conclude yourself as a doctor and find the diagnosis. Let the clinician do the job.
There you go. Very clear messaging there. It might say so on TikTok, but that doesn't mean you need a vitamin patch. Consult your doctor first. That was Dr. Fiji Antony. She's the Chief Clinical Dietitian at NMC Specialty Hospital. Thanks so much for joining me, Doctor.
Afternoons on Dubai Eye 103.8.
I think one of the most